Well, it's 1 o'clock, January 15th, 2026. Thank you all for coming. This is awesome. Anyway, what I'm going to do and present today is a lot of history, biblical history, but in a way that I think will explain what I've been telling people. What I want to do in starting out here is take you through what we would call a preview. You know, you go seeing a movie and something, you see the previews or the shorts or whatever you want to call it. And here we go. First off, I have to do a disclaimer just for myself and for the Institute of Continuing Learning. So I'm just going to be reading this off. This class is for educational purposes only. I am not a registered investment advisor or broker-dealer, and I do not provide investment advice, financial advice, or stock recommendations. All examples used are hypothetical or historical and are not recommendations to buy, sell, or trade any security. Options trading involves significant risk, and past performance does not guarantee future results. Students are solely responsible for their own investment decisions and should consult a licensed financial professional before trading. You are free to use the information learned to test this course using Thinkorswim. Charles Schwab has a program called Thinkorswim, and you can do paper trading. That means you have money and then paper money and then test it. And also MarketWatch also has it, and to see how you would have done in live market trading. Quote number 1. The stock market is an incredible business opportunity that respects no one and doesn't care if you make or lose money in it. Now, I don't see anybody from Young Harris College here or the Institute of Continuing Learning. I just like to thank them for allowing me to present this to the community. It's my opinions, my thoughts, my recent experience with selling options in the stock market. This course is a potential personal financial earning course that will teach you the basics of selling options in a simple and practical way. More importantly, I will be presenting biblical and Greek historical text that is very fascinating and useful for today's option selling. And then there are some other things that I have learned that is also very interesting. Okay, so to get through this, you'll be shown my personal option history. It's all right here. I am not one that goes online and says I did XYZ. Well, where's your proof? Right here. You can look at these for yourself. My personal option history, my mistakes, and my guidance on being successful in today's stock market. This is a proof of concept presentation combining ancient history with modern artificial intelligence technology, discussing selling only options trading, which I believe is a first of its kind using AI in the history of the world. If someone else has done it online, I'm not aware of it. This course is not about buying options, which I feel is very risky, and you should use other sources to help you with that strategy. So this course is going to be interactive. It's a learning experience using tools, which I'm going to ask you, I feel you should be able to download these tools, and of course the Bible. The biblical and Greek historical part of this is an in-depth AI-assisted learning experience, which requires clarification to the limitations of AI research. Please note that I will do my best to keep it simple in a professional but also entertaining way. I welcome everyone here who has joined my unique experience. I'm telling you folks, this is dramatic, what you're going to learn. Get ready for some fun stories. Quote number 2. Who here has never been involved in the stock market? Just show of hands. 1, 2. Oh, good. That's great. So a lot of you have some background knowledge of what to do. Okay, in the next 15 minutes, allow me to share what may shock you. What I will show you are just 2 active contracts that expire tomorrow at 4 p.m. and will finalize at 5:30 p.m. And you'll learn this stuff. Why what I'm saying, why 5:30, you will learn. I want to see what you think. After this quick preview, the course will begin. So let's go. January 12th, that was this Monday. If you look at the bottom of the screen, it says RKLB, and it has January 9th on that. That is what we call a put with the P. It was sold, I sold that to expire on the 9th. What does it require to be able to do that put? It required that I have $7,300 on hold to be able to place that put. And it just so happened that on Friday, Rocket Lab was not even close to 73. It was much above it. Therefore, the contract expired worthless and I kept the premium. Okay. In addition, it then freed up $7,300 for Monday. I know this, I'm just running this fast. You will learn this better as we go. The next lineup just happens to be a monthly AGNC. It's a corporate REIT that it's, I think, a little bit better than Nally, but it doesn't matter. It's a good, I think it's one that you might want to look into. I'm not recommending any stock here. The next line up is the important line. If you notice there's a negative $7,128.10. Well, what happened? Well, on January 12th, I bought 85 shares at $83.86. Well, why did I buy 85? Because I already had 15 other shares that were not in any contract. So that gave me 100 shares to be able to work with. And as you see the next line up, I then sold a contract called a covered call for 100 shares contract at $4.25, which then paid me a premium immediately for $424.34. So why wasn't it $425? Because you pay commissions. That was a $66 commission that they take from you. They do. They get commissions. And then the next 2, I don't recommend doing this, but I'm not happy with my hymns. That is, they were much higher and they're kind of struggling, but they might come back. And I did something I've never done before. I closed it at $50, which cost me $625.89, and then bought it to open to expire tomorrow for $9,412.01. You go, wow, at $1. I don't recommend you do this. It was just something that I've been playing around with. Now, getting to where we are. Here it is. Here you'll see on the screen at the very top, you see the January 12, 2026, 85 at 83.86. Below that, on December 29th, I picked up 15 for $70.88. You follow me so far? Those 2 make 100. Those below it are all at 34, 345, 11, and 44 are equal to 4. That should turn out to be 400 shares that are already out there, already being worked. And so this 100 here, again, on the screen is when I added those 85 to the 15, I now have 500 shares, and Rocket Lab is doing well. I'm up 21% from the total, buying. Now here you'll see at the top left at 10, I screenshotted this at 10:33 on Monday the 12th. At the bottom of your screen, you'll see a flat line. That's pre-market. That means there are day through the night traders that are selling and buying, and it's about, if you look, it's about at $84.50. And then at 9:30 on Monday, the stock market opened. And you can see it go boom very quickly all the way to $88.83. You see that up there? It hit a high. Well, I didn't want to buy 85 shares way up there, so I waited, and I sat, and I waited, and I sat, and I waited, and watched what happens. It goes down, 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 and you will learn this, that generally around 10:30 in the morning, if you hit a high at 10:30 is where it'll bottom out, or maybe before. If you can see there down at 10:10, does that show up? At 10:10, it's hitting a bottom. Boom, I placed an order. And you'll see it, Rocket Lab. My price at the top was limit of $83.86, and it filled. You see right there at 10:10. Go back, 10:10, I hit the bottom for that day and was able to pick up 85 shares. Now, well, then what? So then I developed and put in a covered call, taking those 100 shares. It's called a covered call. I own the shares, and now I'm going to sell a contract. And if you look across there, it says sell to open at $4.70. Well, look at what was actively there. The bid, the mid, the ask, the last was way below that 70 cents. And I create time, there's the 10:47, and I could change the order. And I will teach this how to set.
So you're placing limit orders all the time?
Yes, ma'am. And I can adjust them. What I did here was put a high price, watch to see what was going to happen with the stock coming up to meet my price or not. If it doesn't, then I will adjust it down, as you will see, and to get it.
For the actual shares?
No, ma'am, for the contract. This has the shares, as you will learn, the shares are the derivative. The shares are there. I own the shares, and I'm selling a contract. The volatility, what I'm trying to do right now is just give you a little tidbits to see what's possible. So anyway, here it starts coming back up, and if you see down here, I still have it at $4.70, limit, good to close. And it starts coming up. And I started looking at it, I said, well, what's the price going? And you can see right here, this is the covered call section, 385 at $86 and 434 at 85 if I was to drop to 85. Well, that means I would be selling my shares at 85, not 86, and I didn't want to do that. I want to leave it at 86. So here we go. So I go, well, maybe I need to adjust it. And as you'll see here, I then adjusted it to $4.25, which was matching what was out there. And as you can see, it filled. And it filled at 11:51 this Monday, okay? And my price was $4.25. And remember what I said? I got $425 minus 66 cents. This expires tomorrow. This is still live right now. What you're seeing, that contract will expire tomorrow at 4 p.m. But there's more. Let's keep going. So here's what, from the high, it came down. I placed it. It's starting to go back up. And there's the day on Monday for Oklo. So was my trade really a good trade? Well, since I got it around here, oh, but Dr. Davidson, look at that, way up there. You could have waited and then maybe got it for more premium. Yeah, but that's really hard to predict. It's very difficult, and you'll see this. So here it is. So now, with that money that I picked up from HIMS on Tuesday, as you can see, that's not the 12th, it's now the 13th. I decided I'm going to do a cash secured put. That means I need to hold cash to buy at a specific strike price. And for this class, I put it in at 86. So now I'm going to have a contract of 86 covered call and a contract cash secured price, a cash secured put at the same strike price. One's going to win, one isn't. And you'll see that in this class later. And what to do about it. That's huge. What do you do about those that go in the money? We'll talk about that. So this paid me $319.34 at 320. I had to put cash on hold, as you'll see there, $8,600 to do that. Does that, you follow me now on that? I'm trying to do this really, really quick. So now I've got the cash secured put, and I did it at the low. Let me finish and we'll get through questions. I did it at the low of the day, and there's a reason for doing that. And here they are. Here they are together, showing you what it will look like on your screen. It's got a -1. That means one contract, one contract. This is a put, this is a call. And what it currently is running. This was just like the later in the day on Tuesday. Red over here is good, by the way. You want to see red to see green. That's another quote. Anyway, so bottom line for Rocket Lab, and then we'll be done with this. As you can see up there, for the covered call for January 12th, 2026, 15 times 70.88, cost basis of $1,063.32. The others we saw when I bought it was $7,128.10. Combined $8,191.42. Now, what if and here is the key, what if I took that $8,191.42 and went to Bank XYZ and said, I want a CD for 12 months, 365 days. What percent is your return? I will tell you right now, it's not going to be much more than 4, if at 4. How much is that? For the same amount of cash at 4% interest, your return on investment, ROI, is $327.66 per year, or about 90 cents a day. On the other hand, for the cash secured put, it's an additional $8,600. You're holding again at a 12-month CD at 4%. The return on investment is $344 or 94 cents. So, is that good to do that? Let's look. What is the per day return on investment for my Rocket Lab covered called and cash secured put for January 12, 2026? My per day, 424.34 for 7 days, is $60.62 versus 89 cents a day. 89 cents a day versus $60 a day. On the cash secured put, what is it? $319.34 for 6 days. I bought it on Tuesday. So, and the reason I'm using 7 days, because I'm going to try to teach you to do it on the Monday to Monday, although there is tricks of the trade that some on here actually know. They'll actually close their contract early with just only make 50% profit, and you can do that. It's but I'm trying to teach those that have no idea of what this means. Okay, so on the cash secured put, it's $53 a day versus 94 cents a day. Do you understand what just happened here? I am showing you the potential of selling options in the stock market. The risk that we will discuss and what to do. But I am telling you, I have never seen anything quite like this. And I only started doing this on the 5th of February of last year. And by September 15th, I knew this was for real. And some others in here also have figured it out and can agree with that. Okay, so, and then at the bottom, you cannot annualize the weekly premiums. Why? Because the market is going up and down really quick. So your contract price premiums will not be the same. And you'll learn this. But my question, have I sparked your interest?
Yes, absolutely.
You see what I'm saying? The potential is enormous, but you're going to want to know the details. And that's what this class, I can't do it all in one day. But today, let's get into what today's going to what today is going to be. Thank you.